Hi everyone. I recently come to the conclusion that I have been pretty self-centered lately. We got back from Mexico in January 1st, and it started to I had like so many things I wanted to share in my heart, but I just didn't feel like words were adequate for what I wanted to say, and I kept trying to figure out how to share it, and it just never felt good enough. So I just haven't said anything. And as I've thought about it, it's really just my own or unwillingness to not have it be perfect, or to not have it be up to what a standard that I have. And so I'm going to share some of the thoughts I have in my mind today, and just get over myself and just tell you some things I'm thinking, and some of the thoughts that I've had about what that can do for you and what we want to start doing here. So one of the main things I think that I came away with was like I almost wanted to just come home, grab a big garbage bag, and get rid of all of our stuff. Like, I loved being there in the simplicity of the joy of our relationships and of just being together. And my kids didn't fight the whole time we were there. And I noticed that when we got home, it didn't occur to me while we were there, but when we got home, I started to notice, like, when they started fighting, I'm like, wait, I haven't heard this for a while. And I was like, oh yeah, we're back with our stuff and our distractions and the regular things of life. And I loved the joy of having so little, that you just had the ability to focus on each other and on what really matters. And so I haven't done that yet, but I want to do it soon, as I finish a couple of things that I'm working on for the Find Your Path program. That's my next thing, that I just want to go through the house again and just get rid of things, especially after Christmas. It starts to feel cluttered, and it's just kind of just not the way that I like to live. But the other thing that really struck me, and I hadn't really considered this until someone said something, but we were with these incredible kids, right? They're at the orphanage, and they are so smart and so kind and so loving, and you just hug them and they melt in your arms. Like, they are just so giving, and they want to show you that they care, that you're there, and that they need that love from you, they don't have mothers, obviously, that's why they're in an orphanage. And I mean, some of them do, because an orphanage in Mexico is almost like the foster care system here, except for the orphanages don't get paid. They have to find their own way of getting funding. But I mean, they don't get paid by the government. But basically, if a child is being neglected or abused or whatever, the government will come in and they'll put him in a state-ran kind of institution temporarily until they can place them into an orphanage. And sometimes their parents can get them back. Often they don't, but it kind of just depends on the situation and things. But they were craving this just like, they'd show you their pictures, and they could, if you showed them, like, oh wow, that's amazing, they just craved that attention, that individual attention that they didn't get. And so we're there with them, and I'm just loving, and I'm feeling so sad that I have to leave them again. And somebody said, I feel really sad for their mothers, because they don't get to experience them, and it just hit me how sad it is that we were only there a week, and I wish I could have taken them home with me. Like, they're incredible kids, and their families don't get to have them be a part of their lives, and that's heartbreaking. And so it just made me start to really ponder on, like, how do we fix this problem? Like, there's orphanages everywhere in Mexico, and obviously there's broken homes here as well. And is there some way that we can do something to help, so that it doesn't have to be this way? At least not so often. And the answer that I always come back to, and that I keep just replaying in my mind, is that it starts with an education. And by education, I don't mean like getting good grades and passing tests and getting a job, but I mean like the true understanding of who you are as a child of God with divine potential, and of the ability that gives you, of the understanding that gives you of your influence, the impact that you can have in the world, your personal potential. Like, if each person could really truly understand that about themselves, that Christ died for them for a reason. He saw something in them that they do not see. He thought it was worth that sacrifice. If people could really see that, they would be motivated to develop their gifts, their talents, to seek the knowledge, to want to learn and to read and to grow, because they can do something about the problems in the world. They start to see, like, I can make a difference. I think a lot of the apathy we see in our world is because people feel like, well, I'm just one person. There's not much I can do. The problems are so big. There's all these orphanages, there's all these kids without parents. Like, what can one person do? But if you were awakened to the fact that each person can do so much, and I've seen that over and over as I've been reading a lot of biographies for our program and things, like, it really is always just one person with this desire to help and with ideas that come into their mind, and they do something about it, and the ripple effect of that is incredible. And each of us has that ability. So if everybody could start to see that, this world would change. And it really starts with helping kids understand that. But we're not educating them that way. We're kind of educating them for jobs. And it really has to start at home. Which is, that's kind of why I've been so passionate about the Find Your Path program and the things that I'm trying to do, is because that's what I'm hoping the people will get from it. And to be able to create the systems in their lives that remind them of that often, that remind them who they are, and that remind them that they can do something, and that they start to be awakened to the little things that they hear and see and do something about them, right? And so you set up these systems in your life that remind you and that keep you going, because it's so easy in our world to get distracted and to forget. And so we are I'm going to do a 5-day challenge next week. This was a thought I had as I've been pondering. I'm like, well, what's the next step? What do I do? I think I'm going to start with this 5-day challenge. I'm going to put it on this Facebook group, and you're welcome to invite anybody else that wants to come in and do it. And it's going to be like the first 5 days of the program that I have. And after that, you're welcome to join the program, or you are welcome to just stay in this group, and we'll discuss those principles that we learned in those 5 days. And just kind of keep talking about how we're implementing them and what they're doing for us, and encouraging one another in doing them. I'll also give you after the 5-day challenge, I'll give you it's going to be a month-to-month payment program. The Find Your Path program is going to be. And so if you decide to join, you'll get a really, really steep discount, because I'm still testing it. And so I would like some people to be in it. I don't expect a lot of people, because I'm suddenly just saying this right now, like 2 days before, or a few days before it starts. But I want it to be just a handful of people that are willing to kind of do it with us and test it. I'm going to be running it in the school as well, so they'll be testing it with me and giving me feedback. And so as we start to develop this, what I want for this community here on Facebook is to, just the Find Your Path community in general, is for us to start seeing that together, to encourage one another, to network with one another, and helping us lift our influence and our talents, and to support each other in trying to do that. And then going on these humanitarian trips together. We have one scheduled in April, another one in August, and I want to go again at the end of December next year as well. And maybe as we get more people coming, we can schedule more in. And for people to start connecting with those that need that love. I think I see a lot of us here being really, I don't know, there's a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety, a lot of distraction, a lot of addiction. And when you are there, a lot of those things kind of start to melt away, because we need what they have. We need that perspective. And they also need our love. Like I said, they just melted in my arms whenever I would hug them. They need to feel cared about. And so I think that as we start connecting with one another and helping each other share what an education really is, then we can start to lift and grow and spread this important work to others. The important work you're doing, and the work here at Find Your Path. So I hope that makes sense. I'm going to share a little bit more probably on Friday sometime about what the 5-day challenge is for and what it'll entail, and things like that. But it's a little brief overview, and I hope to see you all there. Bye.